The following program is brought to you by the Internet Broadcasting Organization. Hello, and welcome to the Heart of the Matter radio show, hosted by Lorena Jefferson. Author of the book, The Heart of the Matter, Lorena is a lifestyle management coach who is determined to empower the community with the information and resources necessary to build our families and communities. We are global, so listen in every Tuesday at 7 p.m. at TalkWatchStudios.com for the Heart of the Matter sessions. We are interactive, and your insights matter. So call us at 813-639-8255 to participate in our discussion. And now, let's get to the heart of the matter.
Hello, and welcome to the Heart of the Matter. My name is Lorena Jefferson, and this is Victor Hawkins, my co-host.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Lorena.
Hi,
Good
Victor.
evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for joining us for another session
Yes, another session.
of the Heart of the Matter.
We survived.
We survived another week.
Yes.
It's been an amazing week, guys. So much is going on, and I'm just in awe of how there's such a movement going on, and it's kind of encouraging when you really think about it, because it's not something that we really are involved in. It's like we're in it.
Right.
But all that is being done is for our benefit, just to show us that we don't have to play ourselves out, act ourselves out,
I agree.
be a worker bee in order to have great things in life.
That's right.
You know,
That's so
and it's so much going on. I know that you guys heard me in, I guess, 2 sessions ago, because I was alone last session.
Yes. Unfortunately.
I was talking about how 2014 is absolutely going to be amazing, you know.
I remember you saying that not last week, but the week before. Too.
Absolutely.
So you've been saying it quite a bit.
See, I didn't even notice that.
Yep.
And that's what's so beautiful, guys, is because there are so many things going on in the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many amazing things waiting for us. When I say waiting, not for you to do something, for you to put yourself in a position to be able to receive something.
That's deep.
Right?
Yes.
It's deep.
Being in the right place.
Absolutely.
Put yourself in that position.
Absolutely. And that's the only thing that'll get it. And so that's why everything that we do and everything that we have purpose of doing is because we need to get to the heart of the matter. We don't want to be the only ones trying to get there. We know that this is a movement. This is not a movement just that some man thought up. It's not, just something to do. This is not entertainment, because this is really about us accepting where we are so that we can get where we're going. We have so many amazing things waiting for us there. And along the way, there's so many jewels that you can pick up and put in your pocket if you stay aware and if you practice acceptance of where you are. Because where you are, you're perfect just the way you are. Tomorrow, you'll be somewhere else. But in that moment, in that time, you'll be perfect just the way you are.
That's a big key, accepting where you are in life, because so many of us struggle with, we want to be somewhere else. So we want to be much higher in our
Absolutely.
Job status or financial status or what have you. And accepting where we are takes a lot of that weight off of us.
Mm-hmm.
Counting our blessings is what I call it. Looking at other situations and things that are going on in the world and saying, wow, maybe I shouldn't be complaining about this and complaining about that. Don't complain about your job when there's so many people out of jobs.
Absolutely.
Don't complain about your car when there's so many people that don't have a car.
Mm-hmm.
All these things, I look at for myself and am grateful for
Absolutely.
my blessings
Absolutely.
and accepting where I'm at in life.
Very
Now,
important.
that don't mean I'm just going to lay down and be
Oh,
content.
yeah.
when
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
back.
It's not about that.
Yeah, never being content. I'm always trying to step forward each day. And that's
Absolutely.
what we always talk about.
Absolutely. And that's the key. It's not about sitting and waiting. It's not the sense of a person just sitting and waiting for something to fall in your lap.
Exactly.
We talked about the seeds that we plant. We talked about how the seeds that we plant grow the trees that come up in our life. And we talked about those trees. What they do is they harvest fruit. And that fruit is only going to be a product of the seeds that are planted.
It can be a sweet or a sour one.
Absolutely. And really, I don't know what is happening, but when a person goes by and they walk by, there's 2 fruit trees.
Mm-hmm.
They test each one. But which tree does the person send another person to?
Well, I would think they're going to send it to the sweet tree.
Absolutely.
The sweet that bears sweet fruit. That's what I would say a positive tree of knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak.
Absolutely. And that's it, guys. Nobody tells the person that they know or they're involved with that, oh, check out this tree. It was sour for me, but it may be sweet for you. That's kind of insane. So that's not the way life happens. But remember, the seeds are your choices, and the decisions that you make, they have no choice but to harvest eventually.
Right.
And that's why it's very important that we make decisions right now in this time of 2014, in this time of seed and harvest, that we make sure that we plant good things, that we fertilize it with good choices, that we fertilize it with integrity,
yes,
and with character, because no matter what you want to pretend it is, the result and the proof will be in your fruit.
in your fruit.
So you have to remember that, and have to know that it's not a bad thing. You just need to understand that choices have consequences.
Every choice has consequences.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
we've all faced those things.
I always laugh when I say it sometimes and people say that I can't do this or I can't do that.
Absolutely.
When we can actually do anything we want to do, it's just a matter of whether or not we want to accept the consequences of those choices.
100%.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So when we make choices and the consequences arise and we don't like them, and some of us start to pull back and say, no.
Absolutely.
I think as a man, I have to accept the consequences of my choices.
Mm-hmm.
And whether they're sweet or sour, the choice have already been made.
Absolutely.
So the consequences is inevitable. It's going to come.
That's right. But the great thing about it is every day we have the ability to plant fruit, new fruit.
Okay.
And so remember, those new fruit are our new choices. And so although, yes, we have to face the consequence and be responsible for the fruit that we've already harvested, right beside that tree, you can plant another tree.
Right.
With seeds of integrity, seeds of trust, seeds of love, seeds of courage and boldness. And so what will happen is your fruit will come up in that area too. And I think we need to, I think this is a great leadway, guys, because today's topic is what, Victor?
How to build wise.
That's right.
Yeah.
How to build wisely.
Build wisely.
That's right.
I think it was something to that effect.
It is.
Different words.
It is. But it's beautiful.
I've been up since 3:00 in the morning.
That's okay. I understand.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm burnt. I'm ready to go watch the Miami
It's a beautiful thing. One of the things about building wisely is, you guys know that we always get to the heart of the matter. So even though it sounds very simple, it's not simple for the heart of the matter. Because remember, our goal is always to get all the way down to the heart of why we're doing what we're doing, the heart of how we get where we're going.
Yes.
And so the topic is not about building all of these other things, families, friendships, things like that. It's about how do you build wisely to get the harvest that you want out of life, because the universe has already been sculpted. You know, God has already put everything in place for us. We have to be prepared. It's like this. It's like me saying, Victor, ever since I met you, I decided, you know what? I saw that you were walking every day. I bought you a car.
Okay.
And you would say,
I wonder why you bought me that car.
You would wonder why I bought you that car. And no matter what I would do, you would say, I'd be holding that thing out and you'd be like, you're smiling trying to be polite.
What's the catch?
But everything in you will not grab the keys to that car.
What's the catch?
Because that was the catch. And I'll say, you don't understand. No, it really came upon me that I needed to bless you this way.
Right.
And you would be like, I don't know that girl like that. Why would she do that? No. I sit in that car gonna blow up. Something ain't right with that. She done set me up somehow. I don't know what I did to her, but I promise you, I'm not getting in that car. And no matter how much she says it's for me, I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
So then what happens is I see you over and over again. Every time I'm handing you this. I'm handing you this.
Trying to give me the keys.
You never, ever, ever take it. Now, this is the question, guys. Are those your keys?
Well, no, they're not my keys.
Why?
Because it's actually your car. I haven't took possession of the keys.
I bought them for you. I bought the car for you.
Yes.
So if I bought the car for you, then I put the car in your name. The keys are under that contract that I signed when I bought the car.
Okay.
The keys are yours. Every time I see you, I don't drive the car because the car is not mine. I can't take possession of the car no matter how beautiful it is, because who it belongs to, period.
Okay.
And so the keys lay in the drawer awaiting, because they are your keys. It's not my issue if you don't believe they're your keys. It doesn't cease to change the paperwork.
Right.
It's not my issue if you won't take the keys and enjoy the car. I still bought it for you.
Okay.
And so life and purpose in life and all the things that we have waiting for us, they're waiting for us. There's nothing that we can do to change that. They've been assigned to us.
Okay.
It's in our name. It can't go to anybody else. I can't drive that car. That's not my car. I would have to get your permission to do it.
So how do we take possession of those things? How do we know what things are awaiting us? That's the key.
Absolutely. So if I'm doing this, Victor, how do you take possession of the key?
I just take possession.
Wonderful. Ding, ding. That's one of the keys, guys. One of the keys is it's nothing to do but believe and receive.
Okay.
And that's what's going on in this 2014.
Right.
It's time to believe
And receive.
and receive. But see, we're too busy trying to figure out what the catch is.
Wow. I was.
Yes.
Because
and most people would be.
Not to interrupt you, but I think that it gets back to what we've talked about week after week after week, is that programming.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That nothing is free. There's something, you got to give something to get something. All that rigmarole that we've been told growing up, and even in our adulthood.
Absolutely.
There's always this, you can't get something for nothing. If you do, there's a catch to it, or it sounds too good to be true.
Absolutely.
All these things.
Absolutely.
So that's why when you offered me the keys, I said, what's the catch?
Yeah. But just think about this. Unless you get in a position to believe and receive, that's a blessing that you passed over.
Exactly.
It's an opportunity that you passed over. But the beautiful thing is, those keys are still in the drawer. Whenever you're ready, you can go get them. But you can't drive the car until you're ready. So many times, guys, in our life and in our experiences, we pass over blessings. And it's not to say, not to question something, but you have to believe that you are
You are.
important enough that there is a conspiracy going on in the background that's conspiring for you to have greater things, for you to have bigger things, for you to have better relationships. It's really about you being wise, because there's a story. I want to tell you the story. I'm going to tell you guys this story. It's called the virgins, the 10 virgins.
10 virgins.
There's 10 virgins. You guys know I'll tell a story in a heartbeat.
Yeah, you sure will.
This is an important story. Pay attention, because you need to get this, okay?
Okay.
All right. There was 10 virgins. 5 were foolish and 5 were considered wise. There was a bridegroom that was to show up. Every virgin wants a bridegroom. And so back in those days, bridegrooms could have as many as they wanted. So what they would do was they'd send the girls in so that they could be chosen for the wedding. So 10 girls were chosen to go into the wedding. The bridegroom was running late. And so some of the girls thought ahead of time, well, you know what? It's midday, so maybe I need to take some lanterns so that if by chance he comes at night, I can still see him. He can see me. I want to make every opportunity I have to shine available. So they all went in. 5 of them took oil and 5 of them didn't. When they took the oil, what happened was the bridegroom just wasn't coming. They waited. They fell asleep, and all of a sudden it rained. The bridegroom was coming. And so what happened was 5 of them got up and they started trimming their lanterns. They put the oil in there and they lit it so that they would be very visible to their bridegroom. And then the other 5 said, oh my gosh, we don't have any lanterns, any oil for our lanterns. Give us some of your oil, they said. And the 5 that were wise said, no. We're not sure when he'll get exactly where we are. But if we give you our oil, we may run out and he not find us either. So you go down, because you're the one who decided not to prepare for your blessing.
Mm-hmm.
You go down and you buy your own oil. We can't share with you because it may put us in a position to lose our own blessings.
Okay.
So the 5, they went down to buy some oil for their lanterns. And while they were gone buying the oil, the bridegroom showed up. And with their oil lamps trimmed, bright and beautiful, he was able to choose his 5 wise virgins. They were taken into the house with the bridegroom, and the wedding banquet, it began. Once the banquet began, the door was locked. And the 5 who did not bring their oil, they were locked out.
Mm.
They banged them, but they couldn't go in. And so they went away sad, lost opportunity.
They have to wait another time.
Mm. It's so amazing because it never describes another time.
You have to seize the moment.
Seize the moment.
You have to seize
Key
the
number
moment,
2.
people. You have to
seize the moment. But it's so true.
It's you never know when that moment may come again.
Absolutely. And it's not to say it never will, but who would want to skip over an opportunity, a blessing, in hopes that another one will be coming? And so that's what it means to build wisely. See, there's so many points to the story. See, the ones they thought ahead of time. Seeds.
Mm-hmm.
They planted the seeds to make sure that what they harvested would be successful. So they put extra oil in just in case they needed it.
Yes.
All right. When the oil went into the lamp, it gave light to everything around it. So they made sure that in the opportune time, they would shine brighter than everyone else.
That's a beautiful analogy. It really is. Absolutely. We
have a caller.
Yeah, we have a caller.
Hello, caller.
Hi, Victor.
Hi, how you doing? Who's this?
Hi, honey. If you had went to church with me Sunday, you would have heard this story.
Oh my goodness.
Thanks,
My
Lorena,
wife
for sharing.
called in.
That's your mom?
No, I'm sorry. That's
What'd
my
you
wife.
say? Oh, that's your... Get him, girl. Get him, girl.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, honey.
You got to turn the radio down. You got to turn the radio down, or you got to turn the volume down. You're getting the feedback in the background.
Okay, now we can hear you, honey.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Hello?
Yeah,
There you go.
you turn the volume down?
Yes, I turned the volume down.
Listen.
you know what?
Listen.
I
Before you start, we're on air all over the world, global. Okay.
Get him, and you
Global.
tell it.
You know,
Okay.
I have people
Well,
all over the world that knows
I
me.
had to call in
Yes.
because the pastor told this story on Sunday, and you didn't go to church with me.
Oh, get him, girl. Get him.
He just told everyone I didn't go to church on Sunday.
That's what I'm talking about.
Thanks so much for sharing. I'm not going to hold you up, but I just had to call in.
It's good to meet you, Mommy.
Okay, thank you, honey. Y'all have a good show.
Thank you.
Good night.
Okay, bye-bye.
That's so awesome.
Well, listen,
Get him, girl.
Listen, she did. She is. She. I did not go to church on Sunday, but I'm going to tell you this though. I took the time on Sunday to listen to Creflo Dollar and Kenneth Copeland and Joyce Meyer,
Awesome.
as well as Joel Osteen, and he talked about, this is kind of relate to this. Joel Osteen talked about being a miracle for others.
Love it.
And so, when you talk about seizing the opportunity, it's like when someone wants to offer to help you, and they want nothing in return. They just want to be a miracle to you. You've been praying for this, or you've been praying for that, and who's to say that? Like when you offered me the keys to this car, I've been praying for a car.
Absolutely.
I've been praying for transportation, and all of a sudden you come along and you offer me these keys to the car, and all of a sudden I've got these thoughts thinking, oh, what's the catch? What's the catch? What's the catch? There is no catch. It's the blessing that has arisen,
Absolutely.
and you have to seize
Opportunity.
the opportunity.
That's right.
And Joel Osteen talked about,
I love it. And I think that's a great point because it spins us into another part,
Okay.
because it's very, very important, guys, for us to realize that conspiracy that I keep talking about, God is in the background conspiring for our good, for our destiny, for our completion of all that we were created to be. Remember, we're soldiers.
Yes, we are.
Being trained for our expertise in the war.
In the war.
Right? But this is what I wanted to say, because when your wife called and said she went to church, she was able to receive the message from that, right?
Yes.
And then I told it in a way because I wanted everyone's attention. I wanted everyone's attention to get the point of, no matter where you're coming from and what angle you're coming from, you can receive the gift of truth, right?
That's true.
The gift of love, the gift of God. You were home and you received it through a different direction.
Yes.
You understand? And my point is this. That conspiracy is going to take place no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, no matter how much you think that you're controlling something. Mm-hmm. The things that you need seated inside of you, the information you need seated to make you hopeful, more hopeful, make your dreams seem more obtainable, will come in whatever way. He conspires so much that he will go to the radio, to the TV, to the man, speak through the man, speak through the radio. We are in a place that there could be no failure unless you choose to quit.
Yes.
Building wisely is choosing to allow that conspiracy to take place without fighting. Without fighting. How do we fight? We fight by saying, there must be a catch. That Lorena, she kind of way over there on the other side. I mean, I know what she's saying and I know what she says she comes from, but how could she be used to change the world? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I don't know. That red girl, I don't know. She talk a lot too. So I don't know, because nothing's that good. Nothing's that wise. No one's been through that much. You understand? So not just saying, what's the catch with a car? How many times do we, what's the catch with her? What's the catch with him when he uses people to gift you, to bring to you,
All around
to
you.
bless you, even circumstances, even songs on the radio, you know? How many times were you going through something, you got in your car and just the right song came on?
Yes.
Either to filter you through where you had to boo-hoo like crazy, or it brought you back to the realization if you had just had a fight or something, and it was a love song, and you realized that everything wasn't as important as you thought it was, that person was really so important, it was worth trying one more time. It was worth having that resolution conversation, you know, that your children, although they have frustrated you at that point, how very precious it is to have children. And you heard it through a poem or you heard it through a song. Guys, third key, everything in the universe, from the wind blowing to the sun shining to a picture you may see, is a conversation with God.
We never know when our blessings is going to come, and we never know where our blessings are going to come from.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How to build
Wisely.
how to be a wise builder.
Absolutely.
Right? My mother used to say this all the time. You never know where your blessings are going to come from. And sometimes we have to seize that opportunity
Absolutely.
without there being all these things from the outside saying, no, there's got to be some catch. No, don't do
Absolutely.
it. Don't trust it. Sometimes you just have to go.
Yeah. And how do you get there? Tell me.
Well,
How do we get there with all
Me
that has
personally?
conspired?
me personally, it's through faith,
Mhm.
trusting that, okay, that this is God sent,
Mhm.
or this is God's doing.
Mhm.
That's how I get there. I've had people, being in business, I've had people older, younger, black, white, Hispanic, you name them, come into my life and offer to help me without asking for anything in return.
Mhm.
Offering to whether to mentor me or to give me some inside information on this or that. And I just trust that there's no ulterior motive on their part.
Mhm.
And I just have faith. We
have another
phone call.
caller.
You'd like. Take care.
Hello. No, we lost our caller. You're welcome to call back. Go ahead.
But that's just how I get there.
Okay. So that's how you get there.
Yes.
And those who believe, that's how they get there. I want to kind of, okay, we got our caller. Hi, caller.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
We're fine.
Good. This is Georgia.
Georgia.
Oh, hi, Georgia.
Hello. I just happened to be able to catch your show today.
Love it.
And
Thank
I'm
you.
really enjoying it.
Thank you.
What?
You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
we're
What did
trying.
you think so far? What's got you so
I
far?
absolutely love it. I think, you guys were talking about 2014 and, receiving what God has for us. And I think what I've been learning in my own life
Mm-hmm.
is the fact that I've always felt that I wasn't worthy. So, and I've been focusing a lot on a particular scripture that says, love your neighbor as yourself.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
we tend to look at loving our neighbor
Yes.
and not ourselves. So
Absolutely.
then we don't pay attention to our own needs. So we go without. We think, of
Exactly.
course, no one can give me a new car, because I didn't work for it or whatever. But I just really believe that we have to believe that God means what he says when he says, he desires for us to have the desires of our heart.
Exactly.
But I think one of the other things, too, is trust and obey. And I believe Victor talked about having faith, and I think that's a big key.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we spend so much time praying and hoping and wishing, and then when it comes, just like Jesus did, he came in the way that the Jews didn't expect him to. But just like our blessings come in the way we don't expect them to, so we don't look at them as blessings.
Right, exactly.
We end up dismissing them, and as you stated, missing the opportunity. And then we wait and wonder why. Okay, what's happening? Nothing's happening for me. Why, why am I waiting?
Right.
I just want to give up. So I think about things like that, but I think when we're having that close relationship with God, we can pay attention and go, oh, that parking space up front is for me.
I've done that, Georgia.
Things that just don't make sense to the normal person.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
That's all I have to say.
Oh, and that's beautiful. Let me tell you who Georgia is. Georgia is a lady I have known for probably 23 years.
Okay.
Georgia had her daughter, Rebecca. We used to go to church together in Orlando. And she had her daughter, Rebecca. And I came behind her 2 weeks and had my daughter, Rebecca.
Yeah? Oh, okay.
And they are now 20 years old.
Yes.
See what she said? When you said Georgia, I thought you were calling from Georgia.
No, that's her name.
So I was like, okay.
South Carolina.
I love it.
Orlando.
Okay, North Carolina.
Absolutely.
Well, we appreciate
God
you
bless
calling.
you. Thank you so much, Mommy, and you're welcome to call in anytime.
Thank you.
I'm so glad I was able to watch today, and I really do wish you well. You're doing a great job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tell Freddie, hey.
Let's hear.
I will. You too, hon. Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
And guys, I want you to know this is so phenomenal because we want you to be interactive and we want to know where you're coming from because remember, we're all in this together. We're all trying to get where we're going. No one is above anyone else. But what happens is if I help you with my strengths and you help me with your strengths, Georgia helps us with her strengths, we can get a lot faster where we're going. And that's what we were created for. We weren't created to be individuals. We have individual destinies. Never forget that. One of the things I wanted to talk about also, because you guys know that the heart of the matter is about the purity of heart and our motives behind what we do and why we do what we do. It's not about what we do. It's about the motives always. And so you mentioned you trust a lot of times that people are doing things with the right motives. That's a beautiful thing, and a lot of times we want to do that, and it's very important to do that when you're walking in faith. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak from another angle because I didn't always walk in faith. And so I believe certain things, but when I say walk in faith, I mean I was not confident and concerned about the things that I'm concerned about now.
Okay.
My motivations were not the motivations that I have now.
Right.
And so we have to understand that sometimes some of our gifts will come when people don't really mean us well, but you can still be gifted through them because it's an assignment for them. And they don't even know it because something is being worked in them, in their love walk, in their training in righteousness, and whatever it is that they're needing to be worked on so they can get to their destiny. They will be used as a vessel to bless someone who is on their way somewhere else. But they have the resource that God has assigned to you. So they have no choice but to give it to you. Whether it is wisdom, whether it is knowledge, whether it is finances, whether it is a building, whether it is just a conversation, sharing of some things they've been through so that you can get through what you're going through. One thing we can't do, remember we talked about never, ever, ever be attached to the outcome of anything. Very important. Because if you get attached to the outcome, then you put yourself in position to start judging.
When you say don't be attached to the outcome, elaborate a little bit for me then.
Okay. Say I gave you the car.
Mm-hmm.
But say in my mind and in my heart, I was just trying to get next to you. Right?
Okay.
But God had already assigned for you to get a car. And I already had the resource to give it to you. Now, I might have been trying to get next to you, but you got your car because you were praying to God.
Okay.
So That makes sense?
When you say get next to me, elaborate a little bit on it. No, I'm just kidding.
Whatever. Do I need to have you call your husband? Anyway, he's so crazy. One of the things that's important, though, is that when I say do not be attached to the outcome, I mean, when you do what you do, even the seeds that you plant,
Right.
even the purpose that you have for doing anything for anyone, make sure you're doing it because you want to do
Exactly.
it, not because you feel pressured. You feel like you should do it because you have money, or you should do it because you have time, because life is not like that. People judge what you do.
Right. People do.
True life is why you do what you do, is what will be judged. And so it's very important that, because if you give to someone and they turn around and talk about you, but you didn't give for the right reasons, you will be broken.
Right. Exactly.
But if you give to someone because you know
Okay.
that you chose to give to them because you cared,
Right.
because you had it, you saw them in need, and you wanted to do that, if they turn on you, you will pray for them, or you will say, well, it's okay because I did it out of the goodness of my heart. It's a very different thing.
That's what you mean by never be attached to the outcome.
100%.
And that's a perfect example of giving unconditionally.
Absolutely.
Whether you call me all sorts of names after I've given this to you, whatever, it makes no difference to me, because I gave this to you out of the kindness of my heart, or because I felt the need to do this, or because God told me to do this. And there's no attachment to the outcome. Whatever you do with this. My wife was telling me, we were talking about, we were discussing giving to the church.
Mm-hmm.
And I struggle with that, I must admit. And my wife loved to say to me, give 10% to the church.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I want to, there's some things that have happened in my past that makes me some kind of reprehensive state, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, you know what? This is what she said. All you got to do is just give. And what they choose to do with that is their business. You give because you're giving out of the kindness of your heart, because that's what you want to do. And so it makes no difference to you what they choose to do with the money. And so that is what you're talking about, not being attached to the outcome. That's where I have to get.
Absolutely.
No attachment to the outcome.
Mm-hmm. And that's good. I appreciate you sharing that, because it's very important. And see, this is the thing, because you guys know I'm always going to tell you exactly the way I know that it is. And this is the way it is. When your wife gives her 10%.
She does.
Okay. When she gives her 10%,
sometimes.
what is happening is, because of the motive of why she's giving hers,
Yes.
because she's choosing to give it. Choosing, very different. She's making a conscious decision that this is something she wants to do.
Yep.
So what the universe will do is the universe will answer her back with more. You, and I'm glad you're allowing me to put you out there like that. But this is the beautiful thing. And it's a lesson, because I've been on both sides, let me tell you. So it's no judgment. This is what happens when you do it just to be doing it, or because someone else is telling you to do it. What ends up happening is this: you won't get the return.
No.
Because she gave it from a pure motive.
No attachment.
Her heart
to the
was
outcome.
pure, but her heart was pure. Because remember, we're not judged. We're judged by man by what we do. We're judged on another level why we do what we do by God. Okay. And so if you don't want to give it, don't give it. Because if you're attached to it returning as a blessing, you're not going to get it. Because that's why it says a cheerful giver, because a cheerful giver is a person who has made up in their mind, this is something that I want to do. And so it's not a bad thing.
Right.
It's not a bad thing. It's just like you said, that's where you need to get. But until you need to get it, you can give just to be given, but it's not going to, that's a motive. There's a motive, unless you get to the point where you give because you want to see whatever further, you want to see the ministry, whatever it is that the purpose is that you give, that is coming from a genuine heart. You understand what I'm saying? It's very different, because remember our programming, and remember we're taught, you do this and God sees you this way. You do this and God sees you this way.
Yes.
If you say that, then you're a naughty, naughty boy and you're dirty and God will never approve of you, or people will never approve of you. And we've received this right or wrong, good or bad programming. So what it has done is it has placed us in a position where we wear masks, even with money. We wear masks, even with positions that we take at work. We wear masks in relationships. Yep. We wear masks everywhere we go. So what does a mask do to a person? What is a mask for?
Well, due to the person that's wearing it?
Yes.
It gives them a false sense of security. It gives them a false perception.
Can you see that person?
I was just going to say, it camouflages them as well.
Absolutely.
You don't see the real person. If I'm looking at you and you're wearing a mask all the time, mm-hmm. I don't see the real Lorena. Mm-hmm. It keeps you covered up. Mm-hmm.
And so, will you ever see the real Lorena if I never take off the mask?
I will never see the real Lorena if you don't take off the mask.
That's right.
No, you have to take the mask
That's
off.
Another key, guys. We have to take off the mask. We have to be real. Like you said, I appreciate you sharing that, because that's some real stuff. And that's what we need to talk about, because it's okay. You understand? Like, it's okay. Wherever we are, that's that acceptance. It's not that you want to stay there.
No,
but why are you even sharing? Because you don't have to share. You understand? You're sharing because you want to be on your way to another place. You're trying to get to your destiny. How can you get there? You have to take off the mask so you can see the road.
Yes.
The only way to take off the mask is to want to be seen. The only way to want to be seen is to want something else and to see it as valuable. The only way to see it as valuable is to make decisions and plant new seeds that'll give you new eyes.
New eyes.
The only way to get those new eyes is you have to make a choice that you want those new eyes. And not only that you want them to be able to have a better sight than the last eyes.
It's kind of like that old saying when you're talking about that, having new eyes. It's kind of like the old saying where they say something with insanity or insane, where you keep doing the same thing over and over. The
definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different outcome. That's the definition of insanity.
I think people that are in relationships or in and out of relationships might want to kind of look, read that word for word and look at it, because if you keep choosing the same type of person over and over and over again and expecting a different outcome, mm-hmm. men or women.
Yes. And there's a psychology behind that, that brokenness that we're always talking about, the programming that we're always talking about.
It dawned on me later in the show that the topic was how to be a wise builder.
Absolutely. And that's how to be it.
And it dawned on me. And I don't know why.
Guys, he's remembering. With 5 minutes left, he's remembering the topic.
My wife came on air and told everyone I didn't go to church, but what she failed to tell everyone is I cooked Sunday dinner from scratch all the way up.
Church Sunday dinner. Church Sunday dinner. I'm with you, girl. He know he wrong.
She came in the house. She said, "What are you cooking?" I knew I had her at that point. I'm like, "Well, I'm not." She's not gonna be mad at me for too long for not going to church. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's awesome though. Oh. I'm grateful that you called in. It's good to hear your voice. Finally put a voice with a name. But we so love you guys. We want you to know, we enjoy being here with you. It's like we're having family time. We're sitting at the table and we're talking about real stuff.
Yes.
Because family loves family. And
supposed to.
Remember that everybody is perfect just the way they are in the space that they're at. Because no matter where you fall short, love has already made up the difference. And even whether you are in the zone where you're believing whatever you're believing, just believe that there is a higher power who is conspiring, because he is. It's like the keys. Whether you take them or not doesn't mean it's not in existence.
Right.
You know what I mean? Think about the things you've been brought through and how you didn't bring yourself through. And you will have what is called faith. If you walk out the door and walk into this world where we know so much is going on, you already have faith. If you sit in a chair without talking to the chair and making it stand, but somehow it holds you and you trust it to hold you, no matter what you want to believe, you already have faith.
Amen.
We love you and we honor you. We thank you so much for joining us for another life session.
Everyone, thank you.
At the Heart of the Matter.
Have a wonderful evening.
Good night.
Go Miami Heat. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
The Heart of the Matter is impacting lives globally. You're invited to tune in with Lorena Jefferson every Tuesday at 7 p.m. here at Talkwad Studios for more tools of empowerment and inspiration. For more information, contact Lorena at prestigewellnesscenter2@yahoo.com or by phone at area code 813-273-8700. Until next time, remember, mystics swim in the same water that psychotics drown in. It's simply a choice of how you see the water. This program was brought to you by the Internet Broadcasting Organization, setting the standard for new media broadcasting.